Key Bryant McCormick and Mr. Darrell Woodcock, not my twin. And this is Ward 5. We're going to use the same format that we did previously. We'll start to the person closest with me, and that'll be Ms. Key here. She'll have 90 seconds per opening, as will Darrell. They will also both have their fancy red cards, and we will get into the questions. So we'll go ahead with the opening statement, Ms. Key.
Okay, first of all, thank you so much, Serge, for inviting me. I'm very honored to be here, especially for you to be able to take the time to get to know me, and for me to be able to take the time to get to know you. So I thank you so much for that. The second thing is I have to apologize for my voice. Me and these allergies have just been horrible. So they started a new medicine yesterday. I'm praying it's going to take effect. Other than that, I'll be in and out of Barry White to all kinds of places tonight. So forgive me for that. I wanted to just take a second and just talk to you about me. I am a very hard-working person. I'm a Christian first. I'm a mom and I'm a wife. And those are roles I take very seriously. But I also feel like I'm an advocate. I'm an attorney. I work as assistant public defender here in this county. So for a living, I make a living advocating for people. People who have no voice. And that's kind of what I want to do for Ward 5. I believe in getting to know the people in order to be able to represent them. And so that's been my strategy. I feel like I bring a fresh perspective to the board, as well as an analytical mind and a mediation mind. So I feel like I'm a bridge builder. I'm one of those people who can help you get through difficult views and for us to still appear a unified board. If given the chance, I want to work hard for you. I think that's my biggest strength. I feel like to whom much is given, much is required. And I just am a hard worker, and I thank you, and I look forward to your support.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Darrell?
Hello, I'm Darrell Woodcock. First, let me thank Mr. Alexander for being our moderator. Let me thank Serge for holding this forum. I normally help organize these, and I have to say it's quite intimidating to be on this side of the table for a change. And I asked for a teleprompter. They wouldn't give it to me, so I apologize for any mistakes that I made. I am a committed Republican. I'm a committed citizen of Hendersonville. I have a need to serve, and for the past several years, I've helped our community in several different ways. I serve business owners from the Government Relations Committee of the Chamber of Commerce. I serve my clients currently as their financial planner. I aid our neighbors via the Lions Club that I helped start here in town, and also by holding community events and meetings with the Hendersonville Police Department. I also help our children through an eye screening program that I helped develop with the Board of Education that will screen every kindergartner in Sumner County. That's what I bring to the table. I don't just look around and hope for the best. I get to work and make things happen. I want to serve the voters of Ward 5. I say all this to say I'm committed. I've been committed for several years. I haven't created a facade for this campaign. I am who I am. Take me or leave me. And I want to ask a quick question before my time's up. Who in this room knows that crime has increased over 20% in the last 6 years in Hendersonville? One hand. That's what I'm talking about. I'm here to talk about the real issues that are affecting our city, not a list of topics hoping that something sticks. I ask that you vote for me November 6th. I'm committed to making a difference. Thank you.
All right, folks. Now we're going to start again with Mr. Darrell over here to the right, and we're going to go through a similar set of questions, but different. The first question will be on budget. And I'll remind you, I did not create these questions. For the past 7 years, the Board of Mayor and Aldermen have passed a budget that's been out of balance, requiring borrowing to fill the gap. How large of a concern do you believe that to be, and what actions might you take to balance the budget?
Of the several hundred, if not thousands of voters that I've talked to, this is one of the top 3 issues. I'm a financial planner by profession, and every day I meet with businesses and family members who say, our budget's great. You know, it's perfect. And then I get in there and find all kinds of stuff. They can't save for their kids' education, but yet they have a $200 cable bill. I'm going to bring this skills to the Board of Aldermen. I can cut through a budget and help balance it. I'm not going to do tax anticipation loans. That's not the way to do business. I understand times have been tough, but at some point we must address the real issues and make the tough decisions. Thank you.
Ms. Key?
Yes, for me, my husband and I, we pride ourselves on running a tight ship in our home. we pride ourselves on living within our means and being able to provide the items that we need. We pride ourselves on being able to pay our bills and live to where we can feel comfortably. And that would be the same concepts that I would bring to the city. Having a business and still, I was formerly a corporate lawyer. I understand the business element. In terms of the budget and making sure that we're there, I think that I would definitely look to try to find creative solutions to budget issues and get into the budget a little bit more to see if there are some areas that we might be a little heavier on than others, and to try to minimize the amount of loans that we would have to take out. Thank you.
All righty. Well, the next question is on safety and security, and we're going to start with Key. Briefly describe your position on what limits can and should be placed on by city government on the carrying of firearms.
Okay. For me, firearms are a constitutional issue. Our Second Amendment provides for our firearms and the right to bear arms. So for me, that's more of a federal government issue to me versus a city issue.
Okay. Daryl?
Very simple. I carry a firearm. I have a carry permit. I believe it's my right and obligation to do that, to be honest with you. At the same time, I own a business. I have clients that own businesses. If they do not want guns inside their establishment, they should have that right. I should be able to carry it into the parking lot in my car so that I'm safe to and from my home or office. I will stand by that from here on out. Thank you.
All right. Next topic is annexation, and we're going to start with Daryl again. What do you believe is an appropriate justification to annex an area when the residents of that area oppose annexation?
The only time I would support annexation is if the citizens agree to it. They're wanting for that to happen. I do not agree that the purpose of annexation is to increase a city's population so that they can receive more grant money, to receive higher tax inflows. I don't think that's appropriate. So I'd like to answer that question more about how I would not support annexation. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, I think annexation at times is definitely necessary. I think when you get into a never say never issue, that's when you almost ultimately have to do what it is you said you never do. I think annexation basically annexation has pros and cons. Some of the pros that the residents receive is they get a higher fire rating. They get to utilize some city benefits in addition to other benefits as well as the city. The laws and the courts don't allow us to annex for taxation, and I feel that as long as you annex properly and legally, that would be proper. And to answer your question a little bit more specifically, is really get into the heart of why it is that the residents would not want annexation, and to truly understand what their issues are, to see if there are some issues we can mediate and resolve.
Thank you. Next topic is growth, safety, security. And we'll start again here with Key. Most city candidates run on a platform of controlled growth for the city. Please explain what kind of growth you would support and what kind of growth you would oppose.
Okay. I support, I think we've all said the words managed growth because we kind of look at that as almost like what everybody understands, but I truly understand everybody doesn't have the same definition. For me, managed growth is growth that doesn't put undue hardship and stress on our infrastructure. When we have roads that can support the growth and other items in terms of infrastructure, be it the bridges and et cetera, that support growth, I agree with growth. I think growth, every person grows. Every day you grow in some way. And I think even from a city's perspective, it's okay to grow in that way. But growth when it's really struggling, when our infrastructure is really struggling, I'm not in favor of that. I don't want big city traffic on our suburban streets. I don't want to make it to where it's a hassle for you to want to leave your home because we've grown beyond our measure. So that's kind of where I am on that issue.
Thank you. Daryl, same question.
In a perfect world, we would love to have all the upside of growth and none of the downside, but we don't live in a perfect world. This question is tough because there's an outside force, at least that's my understanding, that's TDOT. There's several issues with infrastructure and streets and roads in our city, and most of the time I'm told that TDOT has something to do with it. For example, coming off Saundersville Road and at Winston Hills, that's been a headache since I've lived here, and I've always been told it's TDOT. And every 6 months, some part of Saundersville Road or Indian Lake Road is changed. There's a lane here, a turning lane there, and that's ridiculous in my opinion. I'm a planner by trade. I will do everything I possibly can to make sure that when we're building a road or adding a business, that the roads are properly planned with in conjunction with TDOT as much as we can. Thank you.
All right, and we'll come to our final question here, and it's on infrastructure. We're going to stay right there with Daryl. Considering the city's limited budget, what plans do you have for city infrastructure, and how would you prioritize those needs?
This goes back to my statement about growth. It must be controlled and planned. It shouldn't take 45 minutes to get out of Drakes Creek Park after a practice, and we have to prioritize. I can't sit here and list all the issues and which one should be number one, but I can tell you that every day I do this for a living. I meet down with families, and we list their priorities, number 1 to number 10, what have you. And then I put together a team, and we try to fix that number 1 issue. I don't know everything. I can't say that I know everything, but I learned and was taught very early, if you don't know something, find someone who does, work with them, build a team, and that's all I can say I'll do, is I'll build a strong team to help resolve these issues. Thank you.
All right, Keith.
Okay, I think for one is looking at exactly what it is that we're doing now and what area has the greatest need. I think that's the first part. It doesn't make sense to fix something that wasn't truly broken, but yet the thing that's broken isn't being fixed. So it's first looking at exactly what it is that needs immediate attention. In terms of even with the budget, as I understand, the city has received some grants and some other avenues in terms of that can be applied to infrastructure. So I would definitely look into those options to figure out how to fund those issues and projects, and then see if we can work within the budget in order to rectify that situation. If not, apply for other grants in order to be able to provide where our budget is short. All right.
Well, folks, that brings us to the closing, and since Key opened us, Daryl will close us. You both have 90 seconds. Neither have used your fancy red card, so you can have 2 minutes if you choose to, and Daryl will go ahead and let you close.
I'll not use the red card here today. Again, I want to thank Serge, Mr. Alexander, for this great forum. Again, I want to bring my experience, my work ethic to the board of mayor and aldermen. Hendersonville's my home. It's your home. We should expect nothing but the best. I've lifted myself up from living and growing up in a shack to having a very successful financial planning practice. That doesn't just happen. It happens by putting your head down and working. I know what it takes to achieve results, and it's not making a list of 10 talking points. You achieve results by establishing the most important issues and fixing them. The citizens of Ward 5 believe that crime, a low general fund, and uncontrolled growth are the most important issues. You can trust that I'll put my head down and I'll work and I will try my best to achieve the results that we need in Ward 5. I ask that you look at my background. I ask that you look at the issues that I'm talking about: crime, low general fund, and growth, and financial responsibility. And I honestly think you'll see that I'm the better qualified candidate. I think you will see I'm the better person for the job, and I thank you, and remember, I'm committed to making a difference for Hendersonville. Thank you.
And we'll finish with you.
Okay. I probably will take my 2 and maybe 30 seconds of Daryl's. Not sure. Okay, for me, I don't have any cards. I don't have any notes. I just want to talk to you from my heart. For me, one of the things that someone mentioned to me was that you don't belong to a political party. And I don't. I've never belonged to a political party. One of the things I like about Serge is that you believe in the laws, and so do I. And our state government states the city races should be nonpartisan. And the primary reason that is because that's the first level that gets to the people. So the emphasis should be on you. And I would say that's what I want to do. I want to put my interest on you. I don't have anyone else to be accountable for except for you. And that's what I care about the most. If I had to belong to a party, I would say it's the Christian party. Where Jesus is our caucus chair. So for me, that's where I try to govern from, is the things and the principles that I have that come from my Bible. So for me, it's looking at those things that I can make a difference. If you want someone that wants to work on your drainage issues, that wants to work on your street light issues. Personally, I'm afraid to go out of my house on October 31st because I'm afraid I'm going to hit somebody's child because my subdivision is very dark. If you want someone who wants to advocate for your issues, want to help us stay safe. I'm not sure where this 20% increase comes from, because I met with the police department chief yesterday. He said it's 20% decrease due to some of their initiatives. So I want to keep that number going down. And as a criminal lawyer, crime is that's how I make my living. So I want to keep those numbers going down. I want to be able to listen to you and advocate for you. And if you haven't heard anything else, you hear the overall theme is you. I want to be able to be there for you and work for you. I want your voice in city government. So for that, I ask and pray for your blessing. Vote on November 6th and in early voting. And I ask you to let me be your key to a brighter future. Thank you.
Thank you, folks.